My afternoon session today is how to think innovatively in doing research. If you attend the morning session, now you may be confused how you should think about innovation or innovative. But don't worry, the afternoon session is more casual, and I will be versatile in using the term innovation, but I try to give one very important message embedded in my talk when I refer every time I refer to innovation. So let's start my talk. First, relax and don't worry. Even you may think your research is not expected to deliver huge something. Every research output must be an innovation in a casual sense though. If it's not far from innovation, you will not pass. So just focus on your research and follow your research guidance, then it will be your innovation. The important term here is writing thesis is your innovation. I will explain later what I mean here when I say your innovation. And although we don't have enough time and to discuss with you through the online, but just think these two questions and think up your own answer. First, have you ever really excited when you find a new pen? And for those who attended my morning session, you found the same question I raised in the morning session. Have you ever been excited when reading an academic paper? If you are honest enough and if you are young enough, probably most of you may say no. Never be ashamed. I will answer the same. So, to make you be a little bit more knowledgeable about what innovation means, I start with a hypothetical story that you will be the project manager to develop new pen. Imagine you're supposed to develop a new pen which features only one additional element to benchmark product. And if you need to decide only one pen already in the market as a benchmark, how and which do you choose? Here is some example, already available in the market from Faber-Castell. It's almost same to choose your research topic. You are using some paper or some project as a benchmark, and using that as a benchmark, you will think what additional element you want to add. Probably most of you may never think so seriously which pen you will choose. And the same is true. And you may face the same problem in deciding your research topic and the research theme. And once you decide benchmark, meaning that your research topic and your research area. Next task you are forced to do is to decide additional or different element to be featured in your new product or new pen. How and what do you choose? Let's say new features may be color. If there is no red color available with the benchmark pen, you can consider featuring red or more colorful color and the colorful something. In either rainbow color or something, maybe the new additional feature. Or you may think of somewhat different body shape as a new feature. Or you may think new grip, very softy and ergonomic grip may be additional feature. Or you may think using the different and the new material will be the additional feature. Or you may put the additional function as well. Or you may put cartoon print on the body. That may be another new feature. Or you may prefer to enlarge and longer the leads recycle or something. You can choose anything. Just imagine if you are fully responsible to decide which benchmark you will choose and which additional element you will feature in your new pen. How do you decide? The same is true with your research process. You may specify the one paper as a benchmark, and you have to decide one additional new feature which will add to the benchmark will be your research program. Anything can be okay, but if you are familiar with the research process and the most important lesson from writing research is to mimic this process, deciding the benchmark and decide additional feature you will add. Hopefully, now you think writing a research paper is not anything special. It's almost same to deliver or from thinking the new element and to deliver new pen to the market. So hopefully, some of you will feel familiar with the writing thesis itself or doing research project. And if you say this new pen that you market as a product manager is an innovation, the same can be true to your research activity. As far as you can submit the thesis and get passed, just assume the passing through the Bible is a kind of the market, your pen. And the grade is a kind of measure of the level of success. If you get lower grade yet passed, you experience small success. Or if you get highest grade, your pen experience, you can enjoy big success. So as such, if you are at the initial phase of your research project, or you will start your research project in the future, just assume what you will do is just to do or just to mimic the innovation process in the real world. Then I ask you this question. The morning session attendants witnessed the same article name in my session. How do you say? Is this the plagiarism or something new? If you replace the Ghana of this prior paper with Malaysia and borrow research program and research question and the research methodology, while you can confirm no paper investigating the almost same topic in Malaysian context. How do you think? Do you think this is just a plagiarism, or are you doing something new? How about this? Use the same data from Ghana with the same title, yet deliver different conclusion. This can be happen, at least theoretically, if you will try to adapt and you will try to apply different testing methodology or different concept. It's almost same to feature one additional new something, new grip or new body color. But as a whole, the pen seems completely different, even having the same name. So I hope some of you feel writing thesis or doing research project is not anything special, and hope you can relax before tackling with the research project. So what is the difference from the practical innovative activity and the academic way of thinking? Academic thinking, so-called academic thinking, advocates to stand on the shoulder of giants. That's why you are expected to conduct solo literature review. So, before hearing this, the casual talk so far, you may feel difficulty in conducting research to make something different. But just imagine new pen. Do you think, even though one stationery company market new pen, most of the new products are not so different from incumbent product. But they are saying, this is new product. So you will be proud of yourself, even though you may think your expected contribution is very small. But that's what academic thinking is advocating. And here is a kind of the visualization of some interrelated concepts. From copying, imitation, and innovation from innovation perspective. On the left, I map copy. Just imagine copying a paper. No novel or no original element. and imitation should be mapped in the middle. And even innovation is not completely new.
Can I change?
Yeah, of course.
Online.
I'm not sure. Because if you say the new parent that I introduced before can be an innovation, it's not completely different from the incumbent. But you say it's an innovation means novel or original element, maybe 30% up to 40% at best. And by definition, invention has to be completely new. So you can say invention is like an. However, there is no clear-cut distinction between copying, imitation, and innovation and invention. So what you have to be very careful is academic community does not allow copy. We call it plagiarism. It usually does not allow totally innovative output or sometimes invention because it neglects, sometimes at worst, shoulder of giant. Because literature review will communicate to the leaders, and it has to be like this. That's the role of the literature review, or what your thesis is all about. So how do you say about these two drawings? What is a very famous painting from Monet? And right one is the outcome and the stuff from Richard Milchop, I'm not sure how to pronounce it, with the title In the Botanical Garden #1. The author of the painting and the drawer or the painter of the right-hand side product confessed he was impressed from Monet to write this paper, to write this drawing. Do you think this drawing is something new or just copy Monet drawing, or it may be imitating Monet?
Could be, right?
Yeah. Actually, almost all the academic research and the thesis is like right-hand side drawing. You can officially say, I am inspired by this. And I borrow the speed and the kind of the element in the drawing from the some antecedents. What academic world will prohibit is to deliver the drawing by Monet by changing the name. It's called counterfeit, if I use the intellectual property jargon. Again, what I want to tell you is what you are expected to is to write in the botanical garden #1. Now you understand. You don't need to worry so much about whether you are imitating something. That's what your supervisor or the academic world expect you to do. But to think your research process as a kind of your study or the assimilation as your future innovative work, you have to understand common understanding and the common understanding about the difference between innovation and imitation. This distinction was made by very famous Theodore Levitt in 1966. He said, newness in the sense that something had never been done before. It's called new to the world innovation. The second type of innovation, if we view particular about the newness, the level of newness in that it has not been done before by the industry. It's called new to the industry innovation. And third, newness in the sense something has never done before by the company, replacing the company with you yourself. Why some other company did for the first time in the industry. It can be called imitation, or sometimes called new to the firm innovation. So at least you will pass. You will be proud of yourself that what you are actually doing is new to the firm innovation. You never blame yourself. I am imitating something. If we use more positive word, it can be called new to the firm innovation. So hope this typology will motivate you to tackle with your research project. Then you may understand why I say writing your thesis is a kind of innovation. Imagine thesis is your product. And this is the first time to publish it for you. And if it's not just a kind of copy, it will be a kind of new to the firm innovation. And again, never be assured imitation should be a crucial learning opportunity and the key to innovation in the future, new to the market or new to the world. A high quality paper in the academic work. As far as imitation is conducted purposefully and intentionally. Just imagine why China became the only giant. And looking back, the success of Japan in 20th century, they are blamed imitating. But in the end, they succeed in growing the national economy. If you think and you understand writing thesis is your first trial to imitate, and if you pursue to be the product manager in the future, this is your first trial to think new product. I wrote here, purposefully, intentionally. If you understand writing thesis in that way, meaning that it's a kind of the learning opportunity for your future to develop new product. It can be a very precious learning opportunity for you. So look at this series of innovation. I borrowed this series of innovation from one of the traditional Japanese stationery company named Otto. They started to market the pen in 1949. This was first to Japanese market, having the pencil shape. This was delivering huge impact to Japanese market. But this could never be new to the world innovation, because similar type of the product were already available in the United States or in Europe. And in 1962, they first introduced knocking type pen. It's already common. And in 1964, this company released first Acros ink pen. And if you trace the history of the series of innovation, now you understand the pen in 1949 is completely different from pen in 2017. So what I want to say is condensed in this slide. Otto's pen has dramatically changed in a few decades. The newness featured in each product may be small and incremental. So, series of incremental innovations can be drastic innovation. That's why I stress purposeful and intentional imitation. Just imagine you were the product manager of this company. And just imagine that you were responsible to develop new pen in 1962. It's natural you will use the first pen as a benchmark and to think how you will add new feature. Probably you will not be able to imagine the fresh dry gel that the company marketed in 2017. So be cautious. This is your first very precious training to be good innovator. The first incremental innovation may be small, but if you keep innovate, when you will be retired, you will be achieving drastic innovation in the end. That's what business school teachers, including my friend and my acquaintances at AAGBS, as well as our school, really we hope our student will be. So Never be ashamed that you don't think your thesis delivers something big new. Your result will be a part of giant shoulder. And if you are lucky enough, your thesis will be referred by some others, like the pen in 1949. And your output will be a part of logical innovation as a whole. This is especially true for applied science, including management study. So be innovative and never be ashamed. You don't need to deliver something big. But if you want to be more innovative with your coming thesis project, I am always telling my students who pursue to be innovative, innovative behavior embeds risk. Although the challenge should benefit you in the long run, because your thesis project will open your eyes and broaden your perspective. So it may be very precious asset for you in the long run. Regardless of the quality of the output, because very challenging project will nurture your creativity, critical thinking competence, and determination. But you should brace yourself for lower grade, or at least worst failure. At worst failure, you will not pass. How you will do? The choice will be up to you. This is what I usually ask my students. Again, my message so far is very simple, and in short, any research output you will deliver can be innovation, but it's new to the firm innovation. And if you are very good learner, you can imitate, but should be purposefully and intentionally. And assume your writing thesis, your research project is your first new product development. And you can have many lessons, or you will reflect and try different approach when you will be in charge of next product development. But if you want to be more innovative, you have to brace for risk. And providing that, and nevertheless, you determine yourself to try more innovative research topic, I can suggest backcasting approach. Probably some may know this term, backcasting, but some of you are not familiar with this approach, but very common worldwide recently. The backcasting is an approach to future studies, which involve the development of innovative scenario aimed at exploring the feasibility and the implications of achieving certain desired endpoint, which is in contrast to forecasting studies aimed at providing the most likely projection of future condition. You can have some different image and how different between forecasting and backcasting on the image. So this for exploring desirability and feasibility of alternative futures instead of examining likelihood. Then I can ask you, what is your desirable future? What would be your image of better future? What is lacking to achieve better future? If you are pursuing to be strategist or consultant or business owner or business executive, you are expected to develop your own vision and lead your employees or lead your juniors to work together to achieve vision. Once you have clear image of your vision or better word, you will be able to start discussion what is lacking. And if you can list all the lacking element, you will then consider next. What will be most feasible project? What will be the tasks to be addressed at first? This is the way to think from the future. And if you are capable to adopt this backcasting approach, you will be ready to lead some project or company. So, as most of our students starting at our school are business owners or managers. So, after explaining this career, I will ask my student whether do you want to spend the coming 1 year to re-examine your vision and to adapt the backcasting approach and to create some kind of roadmap from now to the vision or your desirable future in the 10 years. I cannot guarantee your trial will be successful. But I can guarantee you may be determined to have good vision and you will be intuitive with your vision, meaning that you want to be in the 10 years later. If someone doesn't know so much about backcasting approach and cannot have the image of the backcasting approach and how to apply those concepts of the approach to innovation, just look at this slide. The image on the left-hand side are describing we are now. And most of you are trouble from the running out of power quickly when your smartphone will be deteriorated, especially. And if you will develop new function while adapting forecasting approach, you may think out the solution in the upper side. Larger battery, lower consumption, or battery tank, or something more. But if you will adapt backcasting approach, you may have one fundamental question or one fundamental challenge we have to solve. Why? We have trouble from running out of power quickly. Reason is very simple. We have to charge. So if we don't need to charge, we don't need to have that program. And one of the good examples to think up new innovation from this backcasting approach is the one trial from the University of Washington. Our scholar or the research laboratory try to collect energy from ambient. If so, if we will succeed, or if they will succeed, we will achieve better work. At least we don't need to worry so much about running out of power. This is the typical image or the typical example of backcasting-based innovation. And this will lead radical innovation, which is not in line with the current trajectory. But again, applying this approach to the thesis will embed many risks because we will not be able to look for many literature which investigate the way to collect energy from ambient. So some may say, is it possible? Or some may say, it's not respect academic way of thinking. So that's why I say this. Innovative behavior and this risk. Some may not welcome. It may be me or some others. But the next generation executive has to equip with this backcasting approach. Why? You may have many times importance of SDGs or ESG. United Nations adopt the backcasting approach in order to achieve SDGs. Why? Everyone talks so much about SDGs because as you look at them about UN in 2000 already set similar type of the goal. It's called MDG, Millennium Development Goal. And the listed objectives are not so different. But unfortunately, it didn't work well. And providing that, UN changed the mindset and start to think adapting backcasting approach. And they will make the major change in promoting and developing the new development goal first. Shift to multi-scale approach, meaning that macro level, the program, from the macro level program to the micro level program, because they understand one size fits all approach does not work well. And to think the desirable future at the macro level and to think up the research project, the problem to be solved. Meanwhile, to think up the desirable future in the micro level and to list the challenges to be addressed. Let's say this micro scale approach is not so something new. Probably worldwide problem is a kind of macro level, or meso level is a problem in Malaysia, or a little bit more micro level issue will be the problem in Shah Alam, or true micro level issue is your personal problem. UN try to adapt this multi-scale approach. And one of the good point of the backcasting approach is to identify the opportunity or the chance for breakthrough innovation. Why MDGs did not work well? Because it assumes problem can be solved by incremental approach or forecasting style. But you know, the SDGs is urgent issue, and everyone knows if everything goes as we are now doing, impossible to achieve SDGs. But if we will adopt forecasting approach, we cannot expect breakthrough innovation. That's why UN changed the approach and adopt backcasting approach. Again, although I am introducing UN approach, but the importance of backcasting is also stressed in business context to be the future business leader. So I hope, again, providing my career, I hope some of you will start the training to think while adapting backcasting approach for your future and for your better future or for your better society. Then you may think of somewhat crazy but really creative idea. I can tell one of my the current issue and one of my current project. I mentioned the one of the very serious Japanese societal program, the depopulation in peripheral area. If we will do anything in a forecasting approach, we will not be able to increase the number of the population. And it's not joke, but we are living in Yamaguchi prefecture, next to Hiroshima prefecture, which is famous for atomic bomb dome. And this is a kind of the commercial of our prefecture. We are named the must-visit place by New York Times, ranked at 2nd this year. So I hope some of you will contact Dr. Alpha and come together with her during this year. when the hottest time. Sustain. But again, what I want to say is depopulation is a real problem. And everyone knows if we adopt forecasting approach, sooner or later, many of the local government will disappear. One of the reports from semi-public agency expect 1/3 of the local government in our prefecture will disappear in the coming 20 years. So, in order to let some of the local government sustainable for more than 30 years or 40 years, we need to have some breakthrough innovation. Probably, this depopulation issue is the immediate reality in developed country, but sooner or later, Malaysia will face the same problem. And it may be too late, providing the Japanese experience, Japanese failure more precisely. Malaysia needs to have many creative human resources who are ready to think about breakthrough innovation. Okay? So hopefully sometimes in the future, in some of your future lecture to attend, to discuss how you can apply the backcasting approach for any of the research project or any of the assignment or anything. Again, usually elder people cannot be the main player of breakthrough innovation. It must be you. And to be more capable to adapt backcasting approach, you need to be more knowledgeable about type of scenario. I usually instruct our students who pursue to adapt backcasting approach, starting with this scenario development. The first scenario is called what will happen up scenario or projective scenario. This scenario does not assume uncertainty and complexity. And it's also called business as usual scenario. And it often referred as the base scenario without transformation by innovation. So let's say the AAGBS currently eager to adapt AI to business or the education or research. In order to convince or in order to let everyone work together, we need to present at first this what will happen scenario. What will happen if we don't adapt AI or some other digital transformation? As a member of the research strategy development team of our university, I already presented this scenario before developing what should happen scenario. For instance, let's say if UITM or you yourself, you think if you fail to catch up the digital transformation, you may have what will happen. You may find difficulty in finding the good job. That may be business as usual scenario. And second type of the scenario is called what could happen scenario. It's also called predictive or strategic scenario. The sharp difference between first scenario and second scenario is whether to allow for uncertainty or not. And this second type scenario is called sometimes scenario planning. And our part-time students usually start their project with this second type scenario. What could happen scenario if some uncertainty become the reality? And this second type scenario will explore sustainable condition regardless of the emerging scenario out of the wide range of the possible scenario. We usually develop 4 different types of the scenario when we consider the what could happen scenario. And if you are interested in the how to be more knowledgeable and competent in developing this what could happen scenario, you can find at Amazon or any ebook store which explain how to conduct scenario planning. And third, what should happen scenario? It's called backcasting. And this third scenario allows for uncertainty and complexity. Complexity means interrelationship among each element. And very normative in nature, impossible to prove. This is best. For instance, for the practical reason, we believe achieving SDGs is ideal. But it's just a matter of the consensus. No evidence supporting it. So this scenario pursues the very challenging objectives demanding entire social system transformation such as SDGs. And each objective, for instance, in this slide, is interrelated or sometimes interdependent. So we have to be very careful about interrelationship between each. For instance, at the AAGBS level, at Shah Alam level, or at the Malaysian level. For instance, I can easily figure out some negative interrelationship between SDGs goal. Just focus on SDGs number 8 or 11 or 8. It stressed the importance of innovation of the economic growth. But other also stressed importance of the climate preservation. If we just think following the forecasting scenario, these two have trade-off relationship. Industrial evolution in developing country should always accompanied with huge greenhouse gas emission. If we take the current innovation level or the technological level, But in order to achieve or in order to dissolve the North-South problem, that will be implemented. How we should do it in order to achieve both objectives simultaneously. So that's the case for breakthrough innovation. But it's very challenging and impossible for one company or an individual to think those interrelated problems at once. So UN decided to adopt multi-scale approach. So never think SDGs is not just a kind of sign or the excuse. What we are doing is currently is correct or in the right way. Okay? But although my talk so far sounds a little bit overwhelming, but more or less, you are doing gap backcasting. Look at this. You might enroll AAGBS since you saw the gap between your desirable future, let's say, in 10 years, and your projected future on the previous trajectory, meaning that your future without AAGBS study and expected graduate study here will fill the gap. If you decide to admit AAGBS after considering the issue in that way, you are ready to adopt backcasting approach. So, at the very beginning, to be good backcaster, that shouldn't be not so challenging. It's just a matter of habit. But if you want to be more innovative, ask further and think, what if there is no business school and it's alternative as well, but you want to pursue your desirable future? You will build your own business school or you will go abroad, anything. But you have to decide. And if you want to achieve the filling the gap that you identified in 2 years, you have to be really innovative. This is the way to think in backcasting approach and to be really innovative. Okay? But again, the way to address the gap in the absence of business school shall be broader research lead. So you will break down the DEAM into workable research program and conduct research. If you are familiar with the sociology research, you may find many good examples how local government or activists try to transform the community or the region with the view of the backcasting approach. So if you are very serious to do something for society while capable of the backcasting approach, I strongly suggest, although it may not seemingly irrelevant for your immediate research project, I want you to read any blog or article from the activist or the sociology researcher who try to address the problem and to achieve SDGs from backcasting approach. And if you are really ambitious and try to pursue radical innovation, you can visit some research project named Moonshot. The very famous approach of the Moonshot is Google X. No one knows what Google X is actually doing now. It's top secret. Why? They don't want to publish it. It may be very argumentative because the Google X topic is based on their own ideal society. Some may not agree with their desirable future. Let's say, how do you think if Google thinks desirable world is the world where robot or AI direct the human? As such, usually moonshot project or the moonshot innovation is really augmented, but very conscious of who will be the dominator or the champion in the next generation is quietly doing this. And this is as an example, I am introducing the Moonshot R&D project led by Japanese government. Some may admire the goal of each Moonshot project. But again, remember this slide. Series of innovation. And read the passage here. When you read any one paper from each project, it may not seem so radical in many cases. Why? Reviewer will not accept because every reviewers respect academic way of thinking. We expect literature review and structured format, and they are referring to many differences, especially in the applied science field. However, if every tiny pieces are successfully interrelated and integrated, a project delivers huge impact. That's how radical innovation or breakthrough innovation happen. So, radical innovation can be initiated and implemented by ordinary people. Of course, if you are Elon Musk, you will try alone. But we are ordinary people. We are not so generous. So never think innovation not so challenging. Just to think what you will do during your life. As a whole, you will do something special. And I hope this slide will encourage you. Why? your education background as a business school student will be more suitable to be broadcaster. Because ordinary engineering student and experiencing their career or facing their career or developing their career as an engineer knows too much about specific technology in a narrow field. And they are more inclined to be path dependent. So we are generating incremental idea to make something better. But business school students are not so familiar with technological discourse. If I assign some of you to read engineering paper, probably 80% of 70% written in the paper can be more like alien words. But no need to be bounded to specific technological element. And you can leverage on your lack of knowledge. If you are creative or you are visionary, you are not binding yourself when you think. The scenario that the engineers may claim you are crazy or it can never be happen. But that's the SDGs for. Again, too much experience engineer cannot imagine should be better scenario. And if you are clever enough or creative enough, at least try to be creative and keep training yourself. You are the ideal person to think up something new from backcasting approach or from vision. And from now on, I will talk more specific case. I introduced this case to the Islamic banking team yesterday, but I believe this must be a very good case, and a live case, and the ongoing case as well. And the reflection from my project on impact accounting impact implementation. I hope some of you are interested in accounting of disclosure or CSR. So hopefully my talk today from now on will inspire you to think up how to communicate CSR activity as well. But before talking about the live case, I want to stress all of you, especially youngsters, what is innovation all about here in real sense? Innovation is not just an idea. And innovation implies action to make idea happen. So that's why I asked you at the very beginning, new product can be an innovation. While R&D itself can never be an innovation. You remember, I asked the same question when I organized a seminar to R&D staffs at the Japanese company. Are you doing research or are you doing innovation? Okay. So implying action to make idea happen means intentionally innovation try to evoke behavioral change, or at least making this changing, it has to change decision making itself. So if you are really ambitious and hope your research output works in the real world, you are expected to be really critical and innovative in the sense that you have to have your clear vision about what is good or what is bad for society. And be determined yourself. Someone may criticize you because it's unrealistic that everyone shares the same goods for society. And always keep thinking how to implement your research output in a real world, while imagining what consequences will follow once implemented. So our school, the innovation and the practical school, is not particular, is very particular about usefulness and the feasibility rather than contribution. Whether the researchers and our students are really determined to do their research output or not. That's what innovation means for us. So luckily now, and we are not binded by the accreditation. So if some of you will be really determined to implement your idea in a real world, luckily now we have the student exchange agreement as the AAGBS members and to stay here and to discuss with me. Hopefully, we are always welcome your coming. But going back to the main story. When it comes to impact, what is impact all about? One of the remarkable recent movement is about the interesting impact economy. Providing the one of the non-profitable organization, impact economy is where everyday work, entrepreneurship, innovation, and technology lead to the better world. To achieve this, a global system shift is needed in which we keep the valuable components of the older market system while embracing new economic models. Our requirement for making this shift to the impact economy is a common language for impact and integrating this language into every aspect of our economy. This is a kind of the somewhat casual definition of the impact economy. And in order to facilitate and to train or to change the mindset of the stakeholders worldwide, the authority and the government, especially EU, facilitate and promote standardized disclosure framework. And the standardized framework for disclosing impact is called Impact Weighted Accounts Framework, or IWAF. as far as I know, and as far as I discussed with the Islamic member, I couldn't find any Malaysian company who adopt IWAF as a framework or approach to communicate their CSO activity. And IWAF provides organization or the company with a harmonized and a consistent way of measuring, reporting, and steering on impact. If some of you who are thinking some research topic in CSR activity or financial disclosure or financial reporting and pursuing new idea, you will visit IFBI, the current main body facilitating the implementation of IWAF. And why I say IWAF can be innovation. Essentially, from theoretical perspective, as originally the accounting researcher, I don't think IWAF is most popular successor or the resurgence of traditional social accounting or environmental accounting or full cost accounting. But right on the way, the SDGs. But what differentiates the current IWAF movement and its predecessor are the seriousness to disseminate or to penetrate or to nurture the social consensus. IWAF initiative carefully and strategically build and extend its ecosystem in order to make it work, and thus help companies change their disclosure practice, as well as the investors change their investment decision criteria. Again, my definition of innovation. Innovation is not just the idea. In this sense, although idea itself is really creative, may be better, but the environmental accounting developed and proposed in 1970 is a just kind of idea. Because the researcher did not succeed in creating the ecosystem itself. So, if you are interested in CSL disclosure, keep watching how IWAF can be innovation or a kind of the trial to innovate. This is one of the very highly cited Japanese disclosure case adopting IWAF. Although it may be too narrow and too small, but this disclosure is made by one of the largest pharmaceutical company named Eisai. This company distributed malaria or some other tropical disease drugs for free in Africa. And they quantify and monetize the impact of those free distribution of this drug in Africa and act with profit and show disclose as a part of CSR. and how their disclosure can be said as a success. Investors who are very cautious about ESG or SDGs decided more investment in this particular company. Inspired by the success of this project, one of the regional bank group pursued to communicate their business for developing the local economy and the revitalization of the local economy business to investors. As you can see here, my counterpart for this project is the Vice President of Local Business Development. If you are interested in the specific name of this regional bank, you can type YMFG and Japan. Then you will find the company's name is Yamaguchi Bank. Why? The bank decided to do local development. It may seem curious for those who have solid image of the banking. It may be relevant for the company to help and to facilitate local government or local economy as a whole. Why? Unlike the Citibank includes Tokyo Mitsubishi or Mizuho or some other very famous Japanese bank operating even in Malaysia. In the Meiji era, maybe around 100 years ago, in order to build the solid regional banking of the finance system, Japanese government decided to establish one regional bank, at least one regional bank in one prefecture. So, providing that you can understand, the shrink of the local economy means shrink of the company profit. And I mentioned the very serious societal issue about rapid aging and low birth rate. And the problem is worsened by the accelerated metropolitan migration to Tokyo or Osaka. So they have no other choices to be the main player for local development. Otherwise, they will die. But the problem is they cannot communicate the value of those local revitalization projects to company executive as well as investor. The company's dilemma they are facing even now is very low market multiple, very low market metric. If you are familiar with the financial something, you can understand what PBR less than 1 means. And the company's executives are guessing investors evaluated those local business in CSR context and would not have direct relevancy to their value creation activity. Although bank specifically mentioned in their homepage, those local revitalization businesses, one of the core activity. So bank decided, or my counterpart decided, to quantify and monetize impact of the local business by applying product IWA. Reaching the consensus among executives was not so difficult. It may be a good news for him, because bank disclosed the impact on social diversity of their operation by applying employee IWAF and received the positive feedback from institutional investors. But the challenge we are still facing, no antecedent applying product IWAF to local economy development business. And my role, act as a local advisor to the bank and to be the catalyst between this company and consultancy firm, which has expertise in IWAF application. And why I did? I usually turn down the offer from bank because sometimes my perspective, more precisely, almost all the time, my perspective as an innovation researcher contradicts with the perspective of the bank. Because banks do not like risk-taking, but innovators should promote or should facilitate risk-taking. But I decided to join this project to see the possibility of harmonizing performance metrics between bank and our university. Both institutions are responsible in revitalizing or developing local economy. And providing the IWA taxonomy, there are three broad types of the impact accounting. First, environment, which is very common. And second is employment impact. And third one, we try to adapt product impact. But if you take a brief look at the dimension or the factors needed to apply product impact, you may immediately understand how challenging it is to apply this framework to local economic development. Very difficult to quantify the activity, the duration as well. So if I use the term I introduced before, our project is a kind of new to the industry innovation, if we succeed. Or if we are more elegant, we can say that it's the new to the world innovation if we succeed to adapt product impact account framework to local revitalization project. And this is a very brief explanation of the product impact framework. And if you are really interested in the basic approach and the framework of the IWAF, you can type about the business school and the impact accounting or something. Then you will reach the Professor Sullivan, the leader of the impact accounting framework project at the AAGBS. He is sharing a kind of the guideline to apply the IWAF to different industry. And I found the several rooms for further improvement First, IWAF is not yet established framework and needs huge improvement. Why? In short, they have huge challenges, inherent challenges. How to disclose long-lasting impact. So they have problem to propose balance sheet style impact. So I am convinced there are huge potential for academia to play crucial role in framing the scope of application of the measurement. But I always caution to my counterpart working at the regional bank. The most critical thing is, as you can see, the dilemma. We shouldn't disclose our impact to let stakeholders think it's just a kind of the excuse of very low PBR. If stakeholders will understand our disclosure in that way, it will never help enhancing the PBR. So I come to my mind. Again, this is just kind of the train of thought. And if you face and you have experienced that project, this is my way of thinking how to develop innovative research idea. Again, I already know some of my guessing is not correct. So I have to say sorry. If you will consult some of the Islamic banking deals as it is, probably they may say something. They may something about that's not the right thing or that's based on misunderstanding. But I hope you will focus on storyline or how to develop idea itself. I thought the Sharia ESG fund dominates the world, at least to some extent, cannot negligible in the investment. And the study on CSR, of halal or Sharia compliance disclosure is one of the important research streams. However, Sharia compliance as well as halal compliance are not so try to quantify those impacts. As I just told you, although Malaysian government promote halal or Sharia, those companies does not describe impact. So my question comes to my mind. Is CSR activities no longer separable from main business activity if CSR is a built-in part of Sharia or halal compliance? The second question, is it feasible or engaging for Islamic banking sector if Islamic banking sector disclose their impact in accordance with IWAF? I already told the Islamic banking this. I know there is the mandatory disclosure rule, but do you think application of the IWAF will change someone others who are not so familiar with mandatory Sharia disclosure? So the base of my research idea is whether religious social impact can be measured or identified. Again, if you are mentally stick to what will happen scenario, probably you may blame me, it's crazy or something. But if you think, for instance, the future world should be better, respecting the religious aspect is better for the future world, I think it's worth at least to think and spend 1 hour or 2 hours. And my idea, this is how I develop new research idea. If an Islamic bank consciously sacrifices their performance opportunity and reports for financial performance in order to observe the Sharia law strictly, the same is true with halal. It may deliver huge impact to Muslim or Islamic society, and thus enhance well-being by offering more desirable service comparing to common commercial bank. Again, just be noted, I am telling you how I am developing research topic and assuming how we can implement and what will be happen and how can make it innovation if we succeed. That's all from me, but I hope from the last case, you will have some insight how to think up the research idea. I am not telling you something special. We are able to reach this research idea if you will agree the analogy written in the bottom. A business achieving very high customer satisfaction is not necessarily a financial performer because they may deliver huge impact. So the company has very good reason to exist, but it may not good for investor.
But it will be continuous.
Yes, yes, yes.
Long term,
Yes, correct.
and then short term.
As such, it's not difficult if you make it a kind of habit to think applying the backcasting. And if you are still young, in the middle of 20, of course, it will take time, at least half a year or 1 year, to be capable to apply casting. But once you will be equipped with this, you will never worry so much about how I should think new research idea, because you have clear vision what will be better in the future. And as I told, broadcasting uploads, it should scenario. It will never happen. Always get. This is what I am teaching my young graduate student in the hope of becoming the leader of the next generation. That's all for me. And if you have some very simple question, I can answer you in 5 or 6 minutes. But give me 3 or 4 minutes for immense look.
I have one. Question. So much, Prof. Matsuura, for your wonderful sharing. I really amazed, and it's really an honor to be part of today's sharing sessions, the only time that we have, and we are glad to be here. It's just that one thing. What is your opinions between IWAF and SMA, the Strategic Management Accounting, from your perspective? If you may,
Theoretical view, no difference.
no difference.
Again, what I say is the ecosystem.
Which is the innovations? Is that the IWAF or the SME itself?
Yeah, SME covers almost the same in terms of the impact. But the sharp difference is the involved stakeholder, the number of the stakeholder involved.
For IWAF?
IWA has more stakeholder.
And SMA very much from the external or
Yes.
internal?
Yes. Again, I am talking, IWF for the SMEs, which is better or not. For me, from theoretical view, I don't have any particular preference. Either will be okay. But whether my arm moving is, which will be innovative. As you know, just imagine like the old very famous story, the VHS and the beta of the video. The beta offered by Sony realized a very high recording, but VHS dominates the world. I am thinking the same issue between IWF and SME. It's just a matter of the framework.
Yeah.
And I think if either will be implemented, I think the framework will help changing the world. But like the BHS, PS beta case, we have to be very careful which will be more likely to be implemented or disseminated.
Okay, I got it. Thank you so much, Prof.
So again, for instance, if AAGBS prefer to do some joint activity or the project with us, not on the IWF or something, I will welcome because I have no particular concern or the interest in IWF itself. But what I am interested in is if the framework is applicable, how we will create a system, how we can convince the company to adapt
Stakeholders.
the stakeholders. If not, it's just a kind of idea.
So we have to create what be the innovative part of it.
Yes.
And it goes back to the backcasting.
Yes.
Thank you, Prof.
No. But that's what I want to do together with AAGBS. As a researcher, I am always welcome to do any research and to help the sophistication of any ESG reporting framework. But that's just a research.
Okay.
Of course, we are proud to do some deliver research output. But as you know, I am talking about innovation today because that's the task Alpha gave me.
There's two questions,
Okay.
but then I have a question. If you're on backcasting, Prof, will there be any bias in terms of the researcher part? Because some sort of there's something in the back of the mind that we already know that in the future we want to have this and this. But will that affect the research part itself
Yes.
in terms of biasness?
Of course, bias. But again,
Interesting.
just to think multi-scale approach. As an independent researcher, why we should hesitate to be fully biased? We want to conduct research, what we want to do. No one deny it.
Going back to this slide, Prof. If I'm not mistaken, last year in 2022, UN have come up with a report card. This 17 goals is not achievable. So what do you think about that? Should it be more than 17 goals or?
Oh, we have to go back.
Yes, to the MDG.
And the usually backcasting process allow the iteration of the review of the restructuring of the objective itself because what should happen should not be said.
Yeah. And in fact, it's what is happening in Gaza right now. Doesn't reflect the actual practice of SDG itself. So we are not contributing, without prejudice from, we do not really work with the tops actually of that SDGs. So no wonder it is not achievable. Then we have to go back to our MDGs. Okay, less numbers, but much more sensible
Yeah.
and practical, perhaps. Yeah. Yeah.
Of course, although I didn't mention specifically, probably I am always thinking if we will be able to measure this religious social impact, probably I think we will be able to change our mindset toward religious issue. Because why? I've been thinking, that almost all the Japanese are non-religious people. So we are having very objective view and always thinking why religious battle happen. Because although I am not so sure about the teaching, but no one tried to quantify the value of the religious behavior itself.
Oh.
Because I think everyone think it's a kind of taboo.
Yeah.
Value of the religious behavior.
Talk about religion.
Yes.
Yeah, these generations are very polite and very ethical. So
Yes.
probably they don't need religious knowledge for them to be good.
Yes. If our ultimate goal is to achieve better world, why we shouldn't try? That's my basic attitude.
For research.
For research. Again, if we want to nurture truly creative researcher, next generation researcher, I believe the role of supervisor is how to break their own perceived taboo.
And it cannot be done quantitative.
Yes.
It has to be done by qualitative.
Yes.
The old people.
Yes.
This is my humble thought.
And hopefully but I usually start with the PhD student asking this issue. But if they don't have any specific research topic, I start with this. What will happen in the future?
Okay.
Again, point and hopefully when we will be able to supervise some student together in the future with any of you, I always want to have a kind of the list, what should be happening and what should be addressed in the future. It's a kind of the research portfolio that we will be able to present to the future student. And if AAGBS and us successfully present those kind of the list of the research project, we are proud ourselves that we are seriously thinking about how to achieve SDGs of today. Although we agree or not.
Thank you so much
I
for this very impactful and insightful talk this afternoon. So hopefully that our participants online can get some rough idea on how to be more innovative and how to start to think of something new.
hopefully.
But if there's any idea that you would like to collaborate with Yamaguchi University, you can just drop by to AAGBS and we will connect you with Prof. Matsuura itself. Other than that, thank you so much, Prof. And I will send the attendance link.
Itu kalau punya ke kita punya?
I hope my talk will
Yeah,
begin both you.
dekat Prof ada coffee. Okay.